Identifying a person from a database of faces is easy with the Zenus Facial Recognition API. In this short video, we will cover a few basic concepts. The first concept we are going to talk about is a person. A person is someone who will need to be recognized later. This brings us to our next concept. A group is just a collection of persons. For example, if you are using our facial recognition system to check in attendees, each person would be an attendee, and each group would be all of the attendees in the event. The third concept is enrollment. Enrollment is the process of uploading photos of a person's face to our database. This is how our system can recognize them in the future. It is recommended, but not required, to enroll at least 2 images per person. These are some examples of good and bad images. The full image specifications can be found in our documentation page. A link is available in the description below. After you enroll images and add the persons to a group, you can do the 2 types of facial recognition: identification and verification. The first type is identification, which is short for face searching. If you have an image of a person's face, but you do not know who they are, our system will search the group and it will let you know whether or not that face belongs to a person in the group and who they are as a match amongst a small selection of top matches. For example, let's say that a guest shows up at the check-in booth for your event, and you capture a picture of their face. By using our identification function, you will be able to determine the identity of this person within the blink of an eye. If someone who is not registered shows up at the check-in booth, the identification call will not return any matches. What if we already have an idea of who this person is? In this case, we can use the second type of facial recognition, the verify call. For example, if a guest walks up to the check-in booth and she claims to be an attendee whose name is Melinda Gates, you can simply take her picture and we will compare it with a person in our database that corresponds to Melinda Gates. Our system will compare the 2 faces to verify or reject the claim. The Zenus facial recognition system is over 99% accurate on an industry standard test. Please note that some level of error is always expected in any system. Our service is unique because it offers you control over how much you want to tolerate errors. Giving you easy and direct control over your tolerance is one of the unique values that makes Zenus a great choice for real-life deployments of facial recognition. There are 2 types of tolerances in any system that can recognize people: the false rejection rate and the false acceptance rate. To illustrate the false rejection rate, a false rejection rate of 0.005 or 0.5% means that for every 1,000 registered attendees that try to check in, 995 of the attendees will be checked in very quickly. The other 5 of them will not be automatically recognized. The second type of tolerance is known as a false acceptance rate. To illustrate, a false acceptance rate of 0.01 or 1% means that for every 100 party crashers, 99 of them will properly be denied access, and 1 of them will be granted access even though they did not register. It is important to note that the false rejection rate and the false acceptance rate are inversely proportional. That is to say, the lower you set the false rejection rate, higher the false acceptance rate will be, and vice versa. For event applications, it is better to keep the false rejection rate low to improve convenience and user experience. For security applications, where it is important to be cautious with who gets through the door, it is important to keep the false acceptance rate low. This brings us to our final concept, thresholds. When you set the false rejection rate or false acceptance rate, we automatically and quickly reconfigure our system for you so that it will behave with the tolerance of your desire. We do this by automatically computing 2 parameters known as thresholds, one for identification and one for verification. You are free to manually set the values of these parameters yourself. However, it is not recommended. It is best to let us compute these values for you. Zenus's facial recognition API is unique in that it can automatically compute these values for you when you give it the false rejection rate or false acceptance rate of your choice. To conclude, a person is someone whom you want to recognize later on, and a group is a collection of persons. Once you have set these up, you can identify a person by searching a face within a group, or verify a claimed identity by comparing two faces.